Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Geekerton. And we today are tired of tending to these crops. I have wheat that I need to pick. It's annoying. And I don't want to do it anymore. So what do we do? In the end game, once you've finished all the community center bundles and have access to the community center, you unlock an event that's going to be up in the mountains by the railroad. So let's head over there. So the wizard has something for us. Yes. Mm-hmm. My wife and I were together for many years until I made a mistake that drove her away. Wonder what it was. I've seen her before. She turned one of my chickens black. Pretty extreme measures. Magic ink, huh? Alright, so here's the money right here. The wizard has told us that in order to access the cave, in order to get his magic ink, we need to go talk to Krobus in the sewers. Whoa. So let's go to the sewers and talk to Krobus. You unlock access to the sewers by donating a whole bunch of things to the museum. And Gunther will end up giving you this old key. You gotta figure out what it's used for. It's not to be confused with the Skull Cavern key, which you get for finishing a bunch of Q-Eyes quests. So let's go talk to Krobus and see if he can unlock the Dark Cave so we can find the Dark Talisman. Yes, I am. Pew pew, and with that, we have access to this cave that was previously sealed. Let's get ready for some combat. You don't have to kill anything in this place at all. I feel better about doing it, because that means it won't hit me on the way out. Also, one of the best places to go find bait if you don't have money. Although at this point, if you don't have money, but you need bait, you're probably doing something weird. There it is, Dark Talisman, so we can go back up to the sewers now. I've made sure to go get some void mayonnaise in the meantime. Might prove useful. Somewhere along the way in this game you learned that goblins love void mayonnaise. So I gave void mayonnaise to this guy, but he's apparently not a goblin. It's a human child. Okay, so we have our Dark Talisman with us. Go up to this thing. And just touch it. All of a sudden, this triangular thing all of a sudden becomes a chicken flies away. I have no idea what just happened. I'm not complaining. Some kind of random symbol on a square of rocks inside of a dark cave teleports us to the witch's swamp. And this, my friends, perhaps is a goblin. Kuya, a human. This is private property, huh? He seems like a nice guy. Let's ply him with some void mayonnaise. Best security ever. Okay, so we are now inside the witch's hut. We have a couple things that we have access to now. Monsters on my farm. I believe this is the one that will end up making it so your divorced spouse will no longer remember being married to you, so you can just become friends again. And this is the one where your kids will turn into birds and fly away. But we're here for this, the magic ink. Whoa. We just got teleported to somebody's basement. Also down here, you can offer 500 gold to change your appearance. I might do that. This purple skin is beginning to irritate me. Although I do like the shirt. Oh, wizard. Huh. Okay. She seemed like she lived alone. Actually, she didn't have a bed. So the whole point of all this was so that we could get the Junimos, which we helped inside the community center, but now we can use them to our advantage by building magic buildings. You're welcome, wizard. Alright, now that we have access to our player again, we can now build a Junimo Hut, which will harvest crops around you for the low cost of 20,000 gold, 200 stone, 9 starfruit, and 100 fiber. I'm gonna go get that and I'll be right back. Alright, so through the power of TV magic, we are back inside the wizard's tower. And we can purchase a Junimo Hut. Let's put our Junimo Hut... I'm gonna put it right here and block off that entrance. Actually, that's not a good idea because the Junimos can get blocked off. And if they do, they won't harvest anything. So let's put the Junimos... Ooh. Right here, I guess. That seems inconvenient, but we can fix that later. Alright, so I bought another hut, just because I had the materials on me right now. And unfortunately, we ended up picking our crops before the Junimo Hut was ready. So now we're going to have to just have crops mature before we can see them in action. So I'll play through a couple days and then we'll see you folks over there. Over then? Whatever implies time travel. We'll see you then. Alright, so it's the 6th of fall. I took the liberty of planting some wheat so that we could see exactly the range of what a Junimo Hut can actually harvest. And so it's extending by 9 rows or columns on each side depending on which way you're going. And I've made a little spot for a Junimo Hut, so let's go down to the wizard, or we could go up to Robin and just move that building over. Hello, Mr. Wizard. Here, have some coffee. Never mind. Alright, so inside of this book, we have a couple of options, including teleporting obelisks and a gold clock, which I cannot afford, nowhere near. But what we can do for free is move these buildings. So we're gonna do that. This one off to the side, we don't really need it to be there. So we're just gonna select it, scroll on over to where we want the Junimos to be, put it there, and we are done. I think you can move it into ripe crops and they'll start harvesting where it gets moved to. But we aren't going to do that. We're just going to take our time with it and do it a day ahead of time. So what I've read about the Junimo Huts is that they harvest in a 17 by 17 pattern starting at the door, which is right here. So 17 out that way, 17 out that way, 17 across this way, taking up 3 spots. So it actually goes out 7 and then 7 to make 14, and then maybe I didn't count that well. It's important that you leave the door to the Junimos open. If you don't have an open pathway and you instead block it with something, what you're gonna end up with is Junimos who can't get outside. Looks like this hut already has some stuff. You can also turn off harvesting this way. Oh my gosh, these flute blocks. Okay, let's go to bed and then figure out what happens tomorrow when the Junimos are done harvesting. Bed isn't that way, but my ancient fruit are. Getting ready for next year's harvest. It's gonna be a monster. We have some number of ancient fruit seeds. I'm excited. $81 here, another 13. It's gonna be a good time. Never gonna have to worry about money again. So the Junimo hut that was over here harvested some sunflowers and some eggplants and stuff that were being planted right here. But what we're interested in now is the wheat. Alright. One more day, our wheat should be done. We can watch our Junimos go to work. I've heard that they actually won't harvest any wheat that you're standing on. We're gonna try that out by standing on this one right here. Okay, so it looks like the Junimos have gone home for the night. And they left a few crops out in the open. But what it looks like is we counted a little wrong. So from the door, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. From the door here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. I guess from the door that makes sense. And then from the door up top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. But from the door here, that includes going vertically up past this row that is taken up by the hut itself. So it's more like 7 up top, 8 along the sides, and then 8 down bottom is what the square ends up being. And the Junimos, apparently the Junimos won't finish all the harvesting, maybe if there's too much there. But if you want to collect from the Junimos, you just have to look for this little bag that's in front of the hut, and that means that there are crops waiting for you. So that was around 240 crops that I didn't have to collect myself. So I'm happy about that. Let's harvest the rest of this wheat though. Wheat is one of those things where it's not that hard to harvest because you can do 6 at a time just with 1 click. If you have a whole field of crops and it takes 1 click for each one, it certainly doesn't take that much time, but it does take a lot of your brain power that you don't need to be spending. Alright, harvest complete. Thank you, Junimos, for your assistance in that. If you ever wonder if you want to use the huts as storage, you actually can do that with whatever you want. You can come back later and pick it up. It's another advantage to having them along your farm. But that's it, that's all about Junimos. Be sure not to put anything in the doorway once again, because that will block them. They can walk through things like grass and other crops, but if you put like a mayonnaise or a cheese maker in front of the door, they're not getting out. So that is also another way that you could just block them from harvesting. Okay, that's Junimos. Thank you for watching this short video. If you have any ideas of what you'd like to see in Stardew Valley, any explorations I could do, be happy to do them. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.